The future began 75 years ago with the invention of a device that's seen as the most manufactured item in human history. The transistor was born in New Jersey on December 16, 1947. This week, we're looking at the ecosystems of innovation that turned that invention into nearly everything. The first transistor was a sort of crude metal spring pushing what looks like an arrowhead wrapped in gold foil down into a shard of germanium, the semiconductor, with all of that on top of a metal base. On a campus 45 minutes west of Manhattan, in Murray Hill, New Jersey. Researchers on the payroll of a private company figured out how to make an amplifier that didn't need much power and an on-off switch with no moving parts. This fundamental invention gets us to portable and digital everything. It was called Bell Telephone Laboratories, the research arm of AT&T. At its height, boy, did it have money, because it was a company with no rival. Bell Labs was kind of like a national laboratory in a way, said physicist Michael Riordan, co-author of The History of the Transistor, Crystal Fire. But it was funded by the American people. I'm old enough to remember when we had to pay $1 for the first minute of a coast-to-coast telephone call, called a toll call, he said. And 3 cents out of that dollar went into R&D, mainly at Bell Labs. So it had the stream of funding and gave them a lot of freedom to follow their research noses. Being a lab that's connected to a monopoly affords you certain privileges, said John Gertner, author of The Idea Factory, Bell Labs and the Great Age of American Innovation. So the timelines are sort of different, he said. I mean, do you have to beat the competition to market? Not really. Can you work on a system for switching or transmission that might take 10 years or 15 years? Yes, you can. Actually, 100 years ago, AT&T was the biggest company in the world and rich enough to scoop up talent even during lean times. Like physicists John Bardeen, Walter Brattain, and William Shockley, who shared a Nobel Prize for the transistor in 1956. 9 Nobel Prizes trace back to Bell Labs. Ed Eckert,